going through the process of replacing your own brake pads, allowing you to handle this essential maintenance at home and keep your car off the mechanic's lift. This list shows the 4 main signals your car sends when the brakes are failing. A grinding noise means the friction material is gone. Pulsation or shaking usually points to warped rotors. A pull to one side indicates a stuck caliper, and a soft pedal suggests a leak or air in the lines. Before we begin, you need a flat surface, the parking brake set, and the car in gear. You will also need your toolkit, a floor jack, jack stands, a lug wrench, a socket set, brake cleaner, and a C-clamp. Safety is the priority here. Attempting this on an incline or ignoring the warning signs of a hydraulic leak can turn a standard pat swap into a dangerous situation. Step 1 is to loosen the wheel lug nut slightly while the tire is still on the ground. The weight of the car prevents the wheel from spinning, making it much easier to break the initial tension. Next, find the jack point on your car's frame. Position the floor jack there and lift the vehicle until the tire clears the ground. Never work under a car supported only by a jack. Jacks can fail without warning. Place your jack stands under the frame and lower the vehicle onto them until the weight is fully supported by the metal stands. Now that the car is secure, finish removing the lug nuts and pull the wheel off. This gives you a clear view of the caliper, the part that grips the rotor to stop the car. Locate the caliper pins or bolts on the back of the housing. Use your socket set to unscrew them so the caliper can be moved. Slide the caliper off the rotor, but do not let it hang. The rubber brake hose isn't designed to hold that weight and can tear. Use a piece of wire to hang the caliper from the suspension. By using jack stands and securing the caliper, you've protected both yourself and the car's hydraulic lines. Now you have the access you need to pull the old pads. With the caliper out of the way, you can slide the old, worn-out brake pads out of the metal bracket. Take a look at your rotor. Compare what you see to this image. You're looking for deep grooves, cracks, or heavy rust that could interfere with your new pads. Every rotor has a minimum thickness limit. If it's too thin, it won't be able to handle the heat of braking, which can lead to fading or failure when you need to stop quickly. While the pads are out, check the metal hardware clips in the bracket. Make sure they aren't damaged or excessively corroded. Putting new pads on a damaged or warped rotor is a mistake. The surfaces won't meet evenly, which leads to noise and poor braking performance. For the job to work, both surfaces need to be smooth. Because new pads are much thicker than the ones you just removed, there isn't enough room for them yet. You have to push the caliper piston back into its housing to make space. For most front brakes, you can use a C-clamp or a spreader tool. Apply steady pressure to slowly push the piston back, which moves the brake fluid back up the line. However, rear brakes are often different, especially if they have an integrated parking brake. These rear pistons have an internal screw mechanism. If you try to force them straight back with a clamp, you'll break the internal parts. You need a tool that rotates the piston as it pushes it in. Take your time with this step. Pushing the piston in too fast can damage the rubber seals inside the caliper, leading to leaks later on. Resetting the piston essentially resets the hydraulic system's starting point. This is what creates the physical room for the full thickness of your new pads. Before installing the new parts, use brake cleaner to wash away the old dust and grime from the bracket. Only apply grease to the specific points shown here in green, the back of the pads and the slide pens. Never get grease on the front friction surface shown in red, or the brakes won't be able to stop the car. Now slide the new pads into the bracket clips. Make sure they are seated firmly against the rotor. Place the caliper back over the new pads and reinstall the bolts. Tighten them according to the manufacturer's torque specs. When you put the wheel back on, tighten the lug nuts in this star pattern. This ensures the wheel is pulled evenly against the hub. Once the car is back on the ground, do a final tightening with your torque wrench. By greasing the moving parts and tightening the bolts in the correct order, you've ensured the hardware won't find or rattle. The physical installation is finished, and the brakes are ready to be tested. Right now, the car cannot stop. Since you pushed the pistons back, there is a gap between the pads and the rotor. Before you drive, pump the brake pedals several times. It will go to the floor at first, but keep going until it feels firm. This action moves the pistons back out until they are touching the new pads. Check under the hood one last time. Make sure the brake fluid in the reservoir is at the correct level now that the system has been pressurized. The final step is bedding the pads. take a short test drive and make gentle stops. This breaks in the pads and helps them seat properly against a rotor for the best overall performance. By following these exact steps, you've taken direct control of your car's safety and saved on a major repair bill. If you need the specific torque settings for your vehicle, leave a comment with your year, make, and model below.